Hey there, everybody. This is TJ Fowler for Skullbanger Media. I'm here with Damon and Ricky from Black Star Riders, and they are formerly a band as well that everybody's going to know called Thin Lizzy. And we're going to get into this in just a second about the name change and how you guys are going about doing Black Star Riders and Thin Lizzy. So, you got a new album coming out called the Killer Instinct. It comes out in February, correct?
Indeed. Yes, sir.
All right, so, but before we get to that, let's go into a little backstory about Black Star Riders and touring as Thin Lizzy and changing your name, because I didn't know. I know you've come out with one previous album under Black Star Riders, but I didn't know you used to be Thin Lizzy. So could you tell everybody out there about the name change and Thin Lizzy and the decision to do that?
Well, sure, man. I guess in end of 2009, Ricky got the call to join forces with Scott Gorham and Brian Downey and Darren Morton, who were original Thin Lizzy band members, along with Marco Mendoza and Vivian Campbell on guitar, to go out and tour as Thin Lizzy. And Vivian had to go back to Def Leppard, and so
Dude, you're going way back.
yeah, I'm sorry, man. Well, he's from Tennessee, man.
Really, you're going to give him the whole 3 years up to the name change?
Yeah. So anyway,
all right. You sitting comfortably?
Yeah, I'm fine, man. It's your story, man.
So yeah, after Vivian left, I came in on guitar. We toured for a couple years as Thin Lizzy, and during that time, Scott had said repeatedly he wanted to write some new music, and so we started working on some songs that we believed were going to be for a new Thin Lizzy album. And as we got essentially in the 11th hour and getting ready to start recording, we just made a decision that it was going to make more sense. It would be, out of respect to the legacy, out of respect to Phil Lynott, it would be the right thing to do to change the name. So Ricky came up with the name that we hated the least, which was Black Star Riders, and we were off.
Okay.
And we released our debut album in the spring of 2013.
Okay.
And we're on the road for the better part of the next 18 months.
Okay, great. Okay, so now Killer Instinct it's going to be your second release, and honestly, if I think it was an album that came out this year, I would call it probably one of the best albums of the year.
Thank you, man.
The opening track, The Killer Instinct, is fantastic, and the whole album's really good. So I really enjoyed it. And you have the classic Thin Lizzy sound, that hasn't changed. But it's got a few surprises in it as well. So, we talked right before the interview, me being from Tennessee, you kind of live in Tennessee. I grew up I grew up in the 80s, but part of the 70s as well, so it's got a very working man's feel to it, and a lot of people in Tennessee is going to like Thin Lizzy and Black Star Riders with your sound. So what do you think this generation of music fans that didn't grow up with the classic rock or whatever, what do you think they can get from your new album, The Killer Instinct?
They can get good songs,
Yeah.
As simple as that. I mean, it's if you want to hear great riffs, great choruses, with an anthemic feel, loud guitars, great playing, and good solid rock and roll songs.
Yeah.
To me, that defines any class, generation, religion, creed, color. And that's the way it should be. And that's what we try and do. We try and write songs that we would want to see, or be in that band we would like to go and see ourselves.
Sure.
And obviously keeping the spirit of Thin Lizzy is something that we are very keen to retain. But obviously we were trying to establish our own identity as well. We're like a new band with an old history.
Yeah.
And that's very rare. And we're very lucky that we have that. But I think, if you're 16 years old and you want to crank up the jams and jump about your bedroom and yell that you hate your mum and dad, there's songs on there, you can do that too. And if you're 50 years old and you want to spark up a fat one and listen to some tunes, you can stick on Blindsided and
Just Say No, Children.
you can put on Blindsided, and that'll work for you in that front as well, or You Little Liar. So I hate categorizing music into anything like that. The reason it sounds working class is we're all working class guys. We're all we all grew up from working class backgrounds, and families. None of us came from any privileged backgrounds, or certainly none of us were poor, thankfully, but none of us were privileged either. So we all had, parents that instilled in us that work ethic.
Sure.
That you get up and you work hard and you get results.
Okay. Well, now, when you're writing a song, obviously you're veterans of the music industry and music business and being in bands, but do you feel that you have to write a certain way? Because some bands, whether they admit it or not, there's some bands out there that do write a certain way to appeal to certain groups. But do you feel you have to write a certain way to appeal to the classic rock crowd, or do you just write kind of what, this is us?
Yeah, it's totally This Is Us, man. I mean, that's the great thing about being in this band is that everybody's grown up, experienced, been around, very comfortable in their own skin, and what it ultimately accomplishes is that we as a band know who we are. And, we love all kinds of, there's all kinds of subgenres of rock, and there's good stuff in all that, and we listen to all those things, man, and kind of, input that into our musical brains. But, for us, it's really, as Ricky said earlier, it's all about the song.
Yeah.
What is the story of the lyric? Is the riff cool? What's the melody? We're committed to big choruses, man, things that people can sing along with and carry with them when they leave the gig. So it's there's never any attempt to try and be a certain thing. And if people go, oh, well, this song it sounds like classic Thin Lizzy, well, that's not that hard for this band to accomplish. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's just us being who we are.
Yeah.
Obviously Scott is a legend, man, and he's a part of that legacy for many decades now. And for Ricky and myself to play in that band with Scott, I mean, we were such diehard fans and kind of learned our craft as youngsters, studying Thin Lizzy, the riffs, the songs, the arrangements. So. Yeah, man, it's a real pleasure to be in a situation where the creative side of it comes pretty easy, man. Very, very natural.
Great. Well, speaking of influences and what makes you write songs, things that you see or whatever. Some bands, I interview bands that are very fantasy oriented. They take fantasy works and stuff. Classic rock bands tend to be a little bit different. So, for you guys personally, what influences you? Social issues. Women, just
life,
yeah.
Just life. I mean, everyday stuff that we see going on around us, and whether you remember something that happened 20 years ago and suddenly think, oh, I remember that day, such and such happened. I'm gonna write about that, or something that happened yesterday.
Sure.
I mean, the beauty of life is that you never know what's around the corner. It changes, and from the year and a half between making the first Black Star Riders on this album, a lot of stuff's happened to us all personally and individually, good and bad, and you can just draw from that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Ricky's a really humble guy, and but I'm gonna have to toot the horn for him a little bit, man. The lyrics in this band are they're pretty extraordinary, and. As you mentioned, there are metal bands and lyrics, based on a lot of fantasy. There's rock and roll bands that are, made up of older guys that are still trying to write songs about picking up chicks, and it's like, Ricky's lyrics are real life, and they kind of speak to everyone about some deeper themes, and to me, that's the best part of the songs that we put out there for our audience. And we've already gotten that feedback from them. It's like it's the multiple listens where they go, okay, yeah, what a great story. And it kind of takes you on almost like a little trip, And I know I can speak for the other guys in the band, man. And we're so, proud to be in a band that is writing songs and recording songs that truly have something to say.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's always going to be that way, he's just incredibly focused and always absorbing stuff from movies and books and as he said, real life stuff, and that totally comes off in the songs.
Now let's talk about touring a little bit. I noticed on I think your website got some tour dates lined up in Thin Lizzy's and Black Star Riders' native Ireland, but I don't think I saw anything outside of Ireland.
Ireland and UK.
Ireland and UK, yeah. So, can you tell us anything?
Well, we're
More?
booking them. You know what you do when you finish an album, you deliver it. It's due out February 23rd. So our agent right now is booking out the rest of the year.
Sure.
You know, working out schedules and territories where we can go and play and make it, you know, obviously make it work. So 2015 will be promoting this record.
Great.
And it will be touring Europe, touring the States, back to the Far East, hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that's a natural question for, you know, anyone in your position right now, but trust me, man, we're kind of asking the same question of our agent. You know, we feel like over the last, 3 or 4 months that we've done a really good job, writing the songs, recording the songs, getting it ready. So now is that key moment where our management and our agent, now they get to be rock stars and do their job. And, there's a lot of good stuff coming next year.
Sure.
And, we plan to be spending a good amount of time here in Europe for sure.
Okay. Is there any certain country that you would personally like to get to that maybe you've never been to before? Or?
Not really. I mean, we've pretty much been everywhere
Yeah.
in our sort of careers. You know, we've played. You know, it's doing this for almost 30 years. You get to hit everywhere at least once. There's nothing for me that jumps out that I can't sort of go on. You know, I really want to go to that place because I've been to most of them, to be honest with you. You know.
We've talked about, the possibility of going to South America and doing a proper tour for the first time. We've all been down there in some form or another, but Black Star Riders has yet to go. I think it would be, I think the timing is right, especially with the quality of this record.
That's good. Yeah, it's very, very good.
But, man, we're very fortunate as a band that even though we put out our first album just last year, because of where we came from and the backstory, there is an audience there, and the biggest percentage of that fan base is in Europe, particularly in Scandinavia, in the UK, in Germany. We want to really hit those places, man, and get in front of as many of those fans as possible. Because they already have a real positive predisposition to the sound and the vibe of what the band is about.
Great. Now, this is a question I try to ask all the bands that I speak to, and I try to make it a little bit unique. And you being a fellow Tennessean now, you'll appreciate this too. Tennessee's got a strong music culture, and Elvis obviously is a icon in Tennessee. Icon everywhere, actually.
Yes.
So if Black Star Riders were to cover a Elvis song, which song would you think?
Burning Love.
Oh, there's
no argument.
no argument.
No contest.
No contest. All right, Burning Love. Interesting. I get all kinds of interesting answers. I don't think I've got Burning Love yet, though.
Burning Love's a good one. I think we would kick some ass if we did Suspicious Minds.
I think, that's a
We
good
could
one.
put a pretty good hurt on that one. But yeah, man, no doubt. It's funny you say that, man, because, it's just the whole history of this band, and now with Ricky behind the microphone. I mean, it's an incredible feeling, to know that you got the right guy up front, kind of leading the charge.
Yeah.
And, you never know, man. We may make an icon out of this guy yet.
Yeah, there you go.
He's on his way.
Black Star Elvis.
That's your next Halloween costume,
Be a
bro.
legend in my own lunchtime.
Cool. Well, before we get out of here, tell everybody out there any last words where they can find information about you, what to expect on the tour, whatever you want to say.
Blackstarriders.com
Yeah.
is the website. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on all that stuff. Obviously easy to find. You put in blackstarriders.com with everything. Album's out February 23rd, The Killer Instinct. We will be on tour throughout all of next year. Just keep going to the websites, checking for dates. And we love you. Thanks for your support.
We do love you. We're on those sites. We're on the Facebook. We're on the Twitter. Talk to us directly. We check it out. We love to hear from everybody, and definitely want to see the fans this year. So yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, man.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See you.
Well done, Murfreesboro.